What's going on, guys, and welcome to Rants Red Talk, where we discuss all the topics you send through to me on Twitter. And big up for everyone that's been joining into the daily streams. I've been on Twitch now. Make sure you follow the Twitch. The link is in the description. It's Rants and Bants official on Twitch. 12 o'clock, so we've been streaming GTA. I just started it, so you guys have been going through the stories with me, and it's been joke, bruv. Hold tight, trigger Trev as well. Man like Trevor shooting up the place. And then 9 o'clock, we've been doing Fortnite squads, innit? So if you play Fortnite, it's cross-play anyway. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you add me, then you guys can jump in. I've been playing games with all of you guys, and we've been enjoying it. We got quite a few W's. I just bought a Game Pass today, so I got some new stuff. And then I've seen another skin that I want, boy. And I think I need like 150 V points or whatever the hell they are. I need 150 more after I got the new Game Pass. So boy, I'm gonna be banging it out to get that 150. I'm not buying it if I can earn it. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I'm enjoying that as well. I've got Call of Duty, which I'm gonna start playing. And I've also got Apex. You lot told me to get that as well. So I'm going to be interacting with you lot. Soon I'll go GTA Online as well, so we can play together. So the most important thing is obviously just staying engaged, helping each other just get through this crap period, bro, without football and a lot of uncertainty. And it's just boring, bro. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas without football, without good films, without your family. It's just like some dead Christmas, bruv. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, big up everyone, because we're all helping each other get through this mess. All right, now let's get in to the comments. All right, first one is at the Red Knight. Your last video about Carrick being snubbed for a dead baller like Scott Parker enlightened me. I want to ask you this: do you think players like McTominay and James are favoured to better footballers like Fred, Greenwood, Gomez, just because they are Bulldogs and no other reason? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And it's a very British thing to do, bruv. If McTominay, Daniel James and these man were Spanish, they wouldn't get nowhere near any decent level football teams, bruv. They just wouldn't, innit? Because like blood and guts ain't enough, bro, in Spain. If you're not technical, man don't rate you. Like, that's just how it is. And it's the same like in a lot of other countries as well, in Brazil and all that. Look at Fred. Fred is barely, on the fringes of the Brazilian national team, and technically he's brilliant, bro. 2-footed, can dribble, do so many things, and he's not seen as an absolute worldie in Brazil. If he was English, you would definitely be one of the first names on the team sheet. Like, there's just levels, bro. There's levels. Like, even when you look at Brazil starting 11, probably all the man on the bench would start for England. Like, it's mad, bro. Like, the level of tech is different, bro. The man on the bench for Brazil have more tech than the man that start for England. And that's what it is. It's starting to change now, where they're starting to respect technical ability, guile, creativity and all these things ahead of just your press merchants. Do you know what I'm saying? But generally, when you look at British players and that, they're just known for being hard workers, bro. And that's it. They always produced a bag of workhorses. When you go into academies, the guys that usually get through the academies aren't usually the most talented. They're the likes of your Darren Fletchers, do you know what I mean? Your Darren Gibsons and all these, man. When you looked at the players that actually got through the United Academy, in that era, like, how many of them were actually probably the most technically gifted of the class? They weren't, bruv. It just tends to be the bros that work the hardest, cover the most ground, the bros that did the best on the bleep test. It's been like that in this country for the last 20 years, bruv. It really has. And then you get the odd gem, the odd technical gem like a Wayne Rooney that comes through, or like Ross Barkley when he came through, or Jack Wilshere. Like, these guys are odd gems. Other than that, you just get bare athletes here that get through and then end up being journeymen through the Football League if they don't make it. So, bro, that's exactly what it is. Like, literally, if Daniel James never had, like, pace, like, he'd probably be playing semi-pro, blood. No joke. Semi-pro, fam. Because technically, he's not professional football levels. Like he's not really like. Do you know what I'm saying? And saying that he's not professional football levels, I'm saying that I know semi-pro ballers or men that play Sunday League, yeah, that can cross a ball as good as him, if not better, bruv. Like, there's nothing that he does that's exceptional, bro. Like, and if you're a professional, for me, you have to be of a certain standard. Like, you know what I mean? He just looks like a League Two baller, conference baller to me, without the pace. You know what I mean? And that can be said for a lot of players with similar profiles to him. So, you know what I mean? And that's not disrespecting him. It just, when you look at how technical Gomez is and how good he was, he played an assist the other day. The ball came to him and he clipped it over the top, like reverse ball over the top. And I think maybe Chong scored. But that ball from Gomez, yeah, was, bruv, like if it was done by a Pogba or De Bruyne, someone would have said that was a world-class assist, bro. Like that level of talent there, yeah, there's no way in hell that someone like Daniel James and them, man, would be playing ahead of him if this was Barcelona's academy or if this was Real Madrid's academy. Or if it, bruv, even if it was flipping Getafe, blood, there's no way a Daniel James is playing ahead of an Angel Gomez in Spain. No way. Or in Germany for that matter. No way. If they're both at Dortmund, bruv, Angel's playing ahead of him. It's very much a British thing. And this is me speaking from experience as well, having come through that system as well. That's not just my opinion on it, like I've seen it firsthand. At rest in Pepe's, does Woodward deserve more respect if he pulls off a Sancho, a CDM, a striker, and maybe another player, whether that's a centre-back, etc.? Woodward is not going to sign 4 man, innit? Fuck all that. You know what I mean? Get that, like, that's not a possibility. What I would say is, I've always said, Ed Woodward, like, a lot of the criticism he does get, I don't know how much is warranted. Probably, yeah, because we don't actually know what he does and what he doesn't do. I would say that probably 60-70% of the stick he gets probably isn't warranted, because a lot of the decisions he has made, like pulling the plug for the De Gea thing, keeping Martial against Jose's wishes, like there's a lot of stuff that Woodward's done that actually I agree with, bruv. There's a lot of times the manager said, yo, you know what, I want to get rid of man, and he's been like, nah. I rate that, innit? So we don't know how much of us not getting things done is down to Woodward, how much is down to players not wanting to come to us, how much is down to the Glazers actually saying, well, there's no money, or this is the money you've got to work with, so you have to work with these parameters. Because ultimately, the Glazers are the guys that employ him, innit? So if the Glazers say to him, yo, you've only got 70 grand a week in wages to work with, and you've only got 50 million euros or 50 million pounds, that forces man's hand, innit? Sometimes when he's negotiating and he can't get things done quickly and he has to do the installments, I call them the installments, maybe it's because the Glazers just be like, yo, there's no money there, innit? And is that really his fault? Nah, it's not. But because he's not a football man, man will look at him and say, you know what, Woodward don't know shit about football, so it's all his fault. But he's made some very good footballing decisions, yeah? Not recruiting the managers, because he's had a mare with that. But the Martial and the De Gea thing were brilliant decisions. And even the Pogba thing, because Mourinho wanted rid of Pogba and Martial, and Woodward said, hell no. So if you think Pogba, Martial and De Gea, who are our 3 best players before Bruno Fernandes comes in, yeah? And Jose wanted to get rid of 2 of them. So, honestly, all I can say is, I think a lot of the stick that Woodward gets, we don't know how much he's responsible for and how much he's not. We don't know that. So all I can look at is, as I've said before, I think that every manager that comes in, he's backed them to a certain extent. I think them man pretty much always get the players they want. Jose wanted Zlatan, he wanted Pogba, he wanted Bailly, and that he got 4 players in his first window. LVG came in and he got back to he wanted players. I think LVG signed 3 or 4 players each window he was there. David Moyes wanted Fellaini, even though he wasn't a good player. Woodward still backed him and paid over the odds for Fellaini, and then backed him by buying Mata in Jan, backed Jose by buying Sanchez in Jan. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think any of these men can really say they haven't been backed. I just think that they haven't spent their money well. That's what I would say on this. And I've said it before. And I'll keep saying it, bro. Like, nearly $1 billion spent or something like that. Post-Ferguson, bruv. Like, we can't blame lack of spending money. We can't do that. It's down to the fact that we haven't spent the money wisely. And I think that's because we haven't selected the managers wisely. So, apart from the choice of the managers, I honestly don't think that Woodward's done that bad a job. Like, not as it's being portrayed. He's doing what his bosses are telling him, bruv. Like, it's the Glazers, really. All right. Now, let me know what you think about that as well. It'd be interesting. Because I know people always, you know what I mean, are quick to stick it on Ed Woodward. But I don't think he's got as much power as you lot think. At Temptation84939, it says, do you think Sancho will translate his game to the Premier League if he joins? Because the teams in the Bundesliga have a crap defence and Sancho might struggle in his first season because of the adjustment. I don't think Sancho will struggle. I think that Sancho will definitely notice the difference in level. Do you know what I mean? Because Premier League level and Bundesliga level is not the same, innit? Like, at the top end, Bundesliga teams are very good. However, at the bottom end Bundesliga teams are dead. They're very dead, innit? And also, because tactically in the Bundesliga, a lot of teams set out to play football instead of setting out to stifle you like they would do in England. I just think that Jadon won't have as much freedom as in time and space that he's accustomed to. But I believe he's more than good enough to adapt to that, especially from watching him play internationally as well. He's not just a flat track bully in the Bundesliga, like slapping people up. He actually translates his skill level and level of performance to international football. So I think that it will take him time to adapt in terms of numbers. But I think in terms of level and height of performance, I don't think it will take Jadon very long, because I do think he's a world-class talent and he will become a world-class footballer if he stays injury-free and he keeps playing consistently. And I believe that, fingers crossed, he'll do both, innit? So if Jadon does come to us, because it's not foregone conclusion, the ink has not dried yet. If Jadon Sancho does come to us, I expect him to make an instant impact and to be a hit in the Premier League, no doubt. Let me know what you think about that one, guys. Next one is Paris CH378, bare numbers. A few days ago on the United Stand, Ricky said that he'd swap Rashford for Kane. What's your opinion on this? My opinion is, in this current system, with this current manager, I don't necessarily think that Harry Kane will score more goals than Marcus Rashford. I think that Harry Kane's better than Marcus Rashford, yes. I think Harry Kane is a world-class finisher. I don't think Marcus Rashford is. Marcus Rashford's not clinical. However, Rashford can make his own goals. Kane doesn't so much. And I believe in this team where we don't really have a system and too much creativity or width at the moment, I think that as a player, you're having to make your own things, innit? We don't have a system like that. I'm not a big fan of how the players are being coached, or if they are being coached. So as a striker, I can't guarantee a certain level of service in this team. Hence why, in this current team, with this current manager, I wouldn't swap Rashford for Kane, because I just think that the way this team plays, an individualistic player like Rashford will probably get a higher output than someone like Kane that relies on the team. However, if you get change of manager, change of philosophy, then yeah, absolutely I'd swap Rashford for Kane, because I think that what Rashford gives us, there's loads of players in the world that you can get that out of. What Harry Kane gives you, there's not loads of players in the world that you can get that out of. Harry Kane's a clinical finisher with both feet. He's good in the air. He's got a good touch. He can link as well. There's not too many players of that ilk, like a throwback number 9, yeah, with physical stature in the game. Do you know what I mean? There's not too many of them. Pacey, wide frontmen that can get you goals. Do you know what I mean? There's a shitload. There's a shitload, bruv. Obviously, you've got the top ones like your Mbappes. I mean, you've got your Dembele's and all them kind of man there. But then you've got your ZX and all these man, bruv, like your Sane's, your Mahrez's. Bro, there are a dime a dozen these wide attacking players. Obviously, I'm not saying that I've named accessible ones that we could go and bring in, but there's loads out there. When you look at accomplished finishers, yeah, number nines in world football, there's not too many of them of the standard of Harry Kane. So I believe Rashford is a lot easier to replace than a Harry Kane. Like, for instance, if Spurs were to sell Harry Kane, who do they bring in to replace him, bruv? Because there's no one like a Harry Kane out there. So my answer to the question, yeah, it is one, it depends on what system they're playing in. Because if they're playing in this very system, Rashford's probably more suited. But if it's another manager, you know what I mean, and it's free-flowing football and there's loads of chances being created, then yeah, you take Harry Kane. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And last but not least, it says Mass ZNN. The English game rarely embraces players with big personalities. Is that why they really produce players with an X factor like a Pogba or a Memphis? You know where it is, yeah? The English game does they do kind of embrace players with big personalities, but only the players they like, innit? Only certain kinds of players. Like Paul Gascoigne, you know what I mean, had a big personality, and they didn't mind Paul Gascoigne. Do you know what I'm saying? David Beckham was quite flamboyant as well, and they loved David Beckham. You know what I mean? But I just think that there's certain players that can get away with it and certain players can't. It's that simple, really. In terms of individual thinking and that, like, and maverick kind of players, yeah, they don't create those very much. They don't, and it is a culture thing. I think in this country, they don't really like people that are outwardly confident. Do you know what I mean? If you look at someone like a James Maddison, you could tell he's a very confident player. He wears, like, you know what I mean, nice watches and all of that. He's quite flamboyant, actually. Do you know what I mean? That's usually associated with like African players or even Yardman, just black players in general, the flamboyance, and the Arabs as well. Do you know what I mean? You look at like the Algerians or the Tunisians or something like that. Even you look at, for instance, like a Karim Benzema and that. You look at Memphis Depay and a lot of these Dutchmen, very flamboyant. Do you know what I'm saying? Like designer clothes, big watches and that. Like it's very much like an African thing to be mad flamboyant and that. And the English don't really like that on them. Do you know what I'm saying? But when Beckham had the blinging and the cars and that, it wasn't really an issue, innit? But ultimately, they don't like outwardly flamboyant people, and they don't like outwardly confident people or quite arrogant people. They don't like it, innit? And the thing is with this country, which is very funny, is as a culture, like as a race of people or a nationality of people, because it's not a race, they're quite arrogant anyway. Do you know what I mean? But it's okay to be arrogant, but inwardly arrogant, innit? Like, that's just how it is. Like, for instance, when you see Brits abroad, they'll go to a country and they will purposely like not learn the language or whatever because they think, fuck it, don't have to learn the language, I'm English, they should know English. And that's an arrogance, because every other nationality will go somewhere and they'll integrate. But because of the history of this country, anyone knows, like colonized like the whole flipping globe, there's this arrogance that it's like, rah, they'll know English or I don't need to learn it. And even though there is an arrogance there, Brits don't like outward arrogance and confidence. So it's all right for you to feel like you're better than someone, but they don't like it if you say it. Do you know what I mean? And it's weird, isn't it? That's something that I've never got my head around being in this country, because everyone's so polite, like fake polite though, to your face. Do you know what I mean? Like, Brits can be some of the rudest people, yeah, but they're so nice to your face. Everything's please and thank you. And then with other nationalities, if they don't say please and thank you, we see them as rude, when really they're just very direct, innit? Whereas we just kind of put chocolate sprinkles on everything and make it look nice, even if we don't like you. Do you know what I mean? And it's a weird one. I'm not quite sure the psychology behind it, but I just think that it's all right to be inwardly arrogant and confident, and the Brits don't mind it, innit? But if you're outwardly confident and flamboyant, they just don't like it, bruv. Like, and that's just as a nationality of people, they don't like it, innit? So if you're someone like that, people tend to not really like you, innit? Like in the football circle, because it's more like just keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, and just get on with it. Whereas, as you've seen, people like Memphis can have his diamond earrings, make his rap music. Benzema's doing flipping music videos and visuals all the time. No one cares. If this was in England, they would get slated, innit? And I think that not allowing someone to express their individuality as a person definitely affects the kind of footballers that you produce. Absolutely, because you want to go out there, express yourself. Football's like an art to me, innit? Art of expression. The way, like, when people are getting angry when Neymar's rainbow flicking, man. Nah, bruv. Like, in African culture, in Caribbean culture, I know in Arab culture as well, because I've got a lot of Moroccan friends, and that nutmegs and skills and that are celebrated like goals, bruv. Like, that's our culture, innit? So when Neymar's doing sombreros, the rainbow flicks and that, a man are saying, oh yeah, you should book him for that. How are you booking a man for expressing himself, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everything about that is trash, bruv. And if you're trying to censor people's personalities, of course you're gonna harbor robotic, samey, monotonous footballers, bruv, because you're stopping people from expressing themselves. So, like, that was a mad question. I really like that question, but I had to kind of go back into the psychology and try and understand why it is the way it is. Because I could have just said, yeah, that's how it is, but I was trying to work out why it was as well. And I feel like we kind of got there still. Like, there's loads of different layers to it, but it's a bit mad, bruv. Like, if there's anything you think I've missed, feel free to let us know in the comments section. Guys, those are some very good questions. And yeah, a few of them got man really thinking on another level. So big up for your questions. Make sure you smash the like if you haven't already. Go through the comments and interact with each other as well. Like on Twitch as well, what I'm liking as well is obviously when you guys are interacting with me, you're also interacting with each other. We're all on lockdown. You know what I mean? No one's flipping enjoying this like too much. It's all right for now, but I've heard it's going to be like this probably until June, innit? So we need to just obviously keep each other sane and big up everyone. And yeah, man, we'll see you again soon. We still got another Total Football to get through this week and another Rants Red Talk, as well as my PES updates. You know what I mean? I'm playing my league at the moment and I'll be uploading videos as well. You lot been keeping up with that as well. So big up. Thanks for the feedback and the comments. And yeah, like, we'll be in touch, guys, man. Keep an eye on the streams. And if you're watching tonight, I'll see you at 9 o'clock for squads. Peace.